What's up, guys? I hope everybody's all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the light heavyweight title fight coming up in Abu Dhabi on November 5th between Dmitry Bivol and Zurdo Ramirez. This to me is going to be a very intriguing clash of styles. You've got an orthodox versus southpaw, both men unbeaten. You got Bivol coming off of that big victory against Canelo, so his confidence will be at a all-time high. Ramirez, coming off some good victories. He's beat a lot of solid opponents. This will be his, obviously, biggest step up in competition and probably his first real elite opponent. He's beat a lot of guys like Jesse Hart, Tommy Carpensi, Sullivan Barrera, Yuneski Gonzalez, older, washed up Abrams. So he's been in there with a lot of decent, I'd say, mid-level or pretty good boxers, but nobody elite up until this point in his career. So this is going to be a big step up in class for Ramirez. But nonetheless, it's going to be a very interesting, clash of styles. You got a boxer versus more of a pressure fighter. I wouldn't call Ramirez a brawler, but in this fight, in my opinion, he's going to have to try and make this fight into a war, which he's been saying. He's been saying all the right stuff and talking a good game, saying that nobody can help Bivol in there and it's going to be a war. In my opinion, he's going to have to try and make it into a war to give himself a chance against Bivol, who is, one of the best, most disciplined outboxers or outside boxers in the game. Bivol's got very good lateral movement and good feet, very light on his feet, uses that, in and out movement and that back step, which, helps him pull guys into counters. So in this fight, I expect Bivol to do what he always does: come out, box to a very disciplined game plan, and box from the outside using his lateral movement, using his lead hand to control his opponent and set up his shots. Got one of the best left hands and left jabs in the sport. And I think that's going to give Ramirez a lot of problems in this fight. His left hand, as well as his lateral movement and good feet or good footwork. I think it's going to give Ramirez a lot of problems. Ramirez, obviously, he's going to have to try and close down the range. I don't think he can box with Bivol on the outside, even though he is the bigger, taller man. I think he's going to have to try and close down the range. He's more of a mid-range fighter. Also got, kind of surprisingly fast hands for his size and build in the division. Pretty good fast hands, and in my opinion, he's going to have to try and, like I say, close down the range, cut off the ring, try and get Bivol on the ropes, or trap him in a corner, and then try and let his hands go and throw his combinations, try and use he's also got pretty good footwork. When he gets in close on you, he's able to, spin off and kind of change the angle on you and, land shots from the side. But Bivol, he's a very shrewd operator, and he'll obviously try and stop that by either using his lateral movement to get out the side, which in that sense Ramirez is going to have to be quick to use his L step and try and use his lateral movement to quickly cut the ring off again on Bivol and keep him trapped on the ropes. He can't make the mistake that he does make in most of his fights, and same thing Canelo did, is once he gets Bivol on the ropes, you can't throw one or two shots and then let him slide off and get back to outboxing you and using his jab and hitting you with 1-2s and sharp right hands from the outside, because you're going to lose the rounds, similarly to how Canelo lost the rounds. So when he gets Bivol on the ropes, he's got to try and keep him there and try and get off some good work to actually try and break down Bivol, and he's going to do this from early in the fight. He's got to try and get to Bivol's body. He's a good body puncher, is Ramirez, so he could hurt Bivol to the body, and in my opinion, that's got to be a big focus of his, is cutting off the ring and really getting to the body, but not just cutting off the ring. Once he cuts off the ring, don't throw one or two shots and then let him off the ropes like Canelo did. Obviously, this is easier said than done, but in my opinion, this is what's got to be done for him to try and win this fight. He can't let Bivol slide off the ropes or tie him up, on the inside. And to be honest with you, I do think this is going to happen. I think Bivol will be able to control the distance in this fight using his lead hand. And when Ramirez does close down the range a bit or cut off the ring, I do think Bivol will be able to tie him up, and then spin off or get out the side after covering up, maybe catching a couple shots to the body and then catching some shots on his guard, maybe taking a few shots. But then ultimately I think he will be able to get off the ropes and get back into the center of the ring and control the ring and control where the fight takes place for the most part. So I do think Bivol's going to be too good for Ramirez in this fight, but I do think it is going to be an interesting fight, and it could be a fight of two halves if Ramirez is able to get to his body early and keep applying that pressure and turn it into a war. You never know what could happen down in the second half of the fight. This is Ramirez's best chance, in my opinion, to win the fight. It should, like I said, turn it into a dogfight and try and get the stoppage in the second half of the fight. But I think, like I say, I think Bivol's going to be too high level for this. His his ring generalship, his ring IQ, and ultimately his lead hand and feet are going to be too much for Ramirez in this fight, in my opinion. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the fight, guys. So let me know in the comment section below who you picking to win this fight and how you think the fight will play out. I got Bivol on points, or possibly boxing his way to a late stoppage. I think that is a possibility in this fight. Let me know how you guys see it playing out.